My legs are burning. Not because the vessel came into the dock, which is called the berth. Not because a number on the stock certificate represented chattel. Oh, I gotta put the brace on, didn't I? Woohoo! You gotta put the woohoo! That sounded like church music. Well, it wasn't quite the pipe organ. Yeah, it was more like the monkey grinder. You remember when we were young, you'd go into Manhattan, the Big Apple there, and there'd be a guy with an organ grinder. There'd be a monkey on the sidewalk cranking this box, and it'd be spitting out tunes. I turned on my radio yesterday on my way over to go to Windham Mountain to go skiing, and that's why my knees are screaming. Man, it was incredible spring skiing. I stayed until it got slush, and then I hobbled out and got in the car and went home and stopped by to visit my friend Bill Whitbeck down there in Cooksburg. Bill, old Bill, he runs a garage, a famous garage. Yeah, located in Cooksburg. His grandpa had it as a gas station. His pa ran it as a service station. And where it's presently located across the street now, his pa had a car wash, and then his pa and Bill turned the car wash into a mechanic shop, and they've been there ever since. And two of my favorite mechanics worked there. Old Dan, that came from another shop, came from Mike's shop. To rent the shop from Mike, and he was there for years, and he'd repair all the stuff that Bill didn't want to work on, and now they got the two of the most incredible sidekicks and mechanics you can ever imagine working down in Cooksburg. Yeah, they're repairing my old pick-em-up truck. It's 25, 26 years old, and they keep my car going. Well, I was just yesterday, I was coming back from skiing, coming over the hill there on Doran Mountain, and I threw in second gear coming down a very steep grade, a couple mile long, and the engine light went on, and stopped by Bill, and Bill said, oh, I'll put the tester on it, and he plugged it in. It's amazing where they put the tester things, you know, they put all these things like fuse boxes and hook them up gizmos in places that you can barely get at. He put the tester on it. He said, oh, it's just a catalytic converter. Catalytic converter? That's probably going to cost me a fortune. Then he proceeded to tell me how a catalytic converter on a Subaru might just cost an arm and a leg, and which led me to look up what mine would cost on a little cheap Versa. Not that a Versa's a bad car or anything. It's just inexpensive, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was next to nothing. But anyway, he plugged the gizmo in and read the reader, and then he explained to me when I came down that big hill there, the oxygen sensor on the front of the catalytic converter, like if you were looking at it on an oscilloscope there, and I mean, Bill's one intelligent individual, and he should be a professor at this here university teaching the young starts about automotive, to tell you the truth. But on the other hand, he was telling me about the oscilloscope readings. They'd be up and down real fast because a lot of oxygen was getting through. Maybe too much oxygen, because I had it in third gear and was going down a steep grade, and I had just come up a very steep hill, and probably the converter was pretty hot and it was getting too much oxygen. Then on the back side of the the catalytic converter is another oxygen sensor. That should be reading sort of flatline or normal, relatively speaking. And I got to thinking, and I almost cracked up laughing, but I didn't. I never laugh at Bill. We laugh together, but we don't laugh at each other. I got thinking, these cars are just too darn complicated, like going to a doctor. Yeah, I went to see my car doctor the other day. What was I telling you there? Oh yeah, I turned on the radio and heard a DJ complaining. Whoever lost an iPhone Pro Max exclusive latest model at the ballpark yesterday. And the DJ proceeded to say, "Can you please stop calling me on my new iPhone?" The difference between a teacher and a train. The teacher says, "Spit out the gum," while the train says, "Choo, choo." Suicide bomber trainer. Suicide bomber training school. The trainer said to the new recruits, "Now you all pay attention. I'm only gonna show you how this is done once." Kaboom. Kaboom. Where you going from here, airman? Well, we gotta go somewhere. Hades in a handbasket is where I usually wind up. Maybe we'll go for a train ride. Gonna go a-fishing in the fishing hole. Gonna pull out some carp. I got my pair of gloves and a pair of pliers. I don't want to get prickly and all bloodied up. Fishing carp with a comb and lantern in the middle of the night. Skinning a squirrel or shooting a gun or sharpening an axe and sharpening a knife and picking wildflowers or riding a horse or milking the goat. You ever milk a cow? You ever milk a goat? You ever plant some weed? Planting a crop. Time to get the crop in. It's springtime. And this here government ain't got the good sense God gave a rock. Them there politicians are slicker than pig snot on a radiator. And about as useless as a screen door in a submarine. I mean, there's not a pot too crooked that a lid won't fit. Well, I've been letting all this good air out, looking to go fishing in a puddle. I can't never, and never could, oh, never would, trust a politician. I'm listening for a train. I put my ear down to the rail. If I hear a little grumble, a little rumble, a little vibration, sure it must be near. Until it's near and I hear the whistle blow, I'll continue to walk along the tracks, unless I see the brakeman hanging off the caboose. It won't be time for me to run so fast along the side. First I'll throw in my brindle, then I guess I'll throw in my guitar. I was gonna throw in my ukulele. No, I was gonna throw in my banjo. Banjo's better on a train. Yeah, and then I'll hop in that boxcar. A leap and a hope and a hope I make it there without busting my butt. Surely there'll be somebody else in that boxcar if the door is open and the bulls ain't checked it too much. Surely there'll be a bunch of us old ramblers going down the track, clickety-clack, clickety-clack, swapping spit and telling clever stories or just playing the good old instruments we got. Telling and tales about Gandhi dancing and tunes we never heard. Keeping our eyes peeled for the Winnipesaukee whistle stop. And at the cross grade and the trestle, that's where I'll jump out right into the river there so I don't break my legs. I gotta bail out before it hits the roundhouse where the bulls are in the yard. Reading between the lines can be extremely dangerous, particularly if you're at the rail station.